What's good, y'all? Welcome to my review for this week's episode of Tokyo Ghoul. Once again, sorry for the delay, guys. College, but hey, great news. Finals are next week, so this should be the last episode review of Tokyo Ghoul that should get delayed like this. Now, before we begin, let's address the elephant in the room. Okay, so you guys may have heard about the passing of SpongeBob's creator, Stephen Hilberg, I think his name was. I forget. Sucks, cause SpongeBob was like my shit back in the day, back in the day when I was growing up as a kid. I was of course watching cartoons all the time on Nick and Disney back when they were actually putting out good shows. Now they're, Big Hero 6 is pretty good, but I know everything like, but what about Gravity Falls? What about Adventure Time? What about Steven Universe? Overrated. That's my thoughts on all the three shows. Gravity Falls, I thought was okay when it first started airing it. I watched it back then when it first started airing. I was like, meh. Avatar, Gravity Falls, Adventure Time, never really been a fan of it. Saw an episode and I was like, nah, this ain't me. I don't like this. Nah. Steven Universe, granted, I saw maybe a filler episode probably when I saw it on Cartoon, but I wasn't impressed, so yeah. Anyway, but yeah, this, Avatar, and A Day of Phantom was my shit back in the day. That was my big three for cartoons on Nick. It was Avatar, SpongeBob, and David. That was my shit. I always love watching new episodes of that show. I haven't been keeping up with SpongeBob nowadays just because, I haven't really been watching TV all that much. Like I said, in all honesty, I don't watch much TV now as much as I used to. I'm predominantly on the internet now. But, when I might get a hotel or some other times I'll decide to watch, I check it out. And and I still always get a kick out of it. SpongeBob, it's never not entertaining to watch. And of course, there was the great shows on Disney that they were killing it with the reality shows, with That's So Raven and other shit, and also Kim Possible. That show was fucking phenomenal. Anyway, but yeah, so it sucks that I swear 2018. We thought 2016 was bad, but they were just killing celebrities left and right and center. Of course, with the biggest one, at least for a majority of us, was Carrie Fisher. As its final victim. But 2018, I swear, it's more precise with its kills, killing our childhoods. Steve Ditko, Stan Lee, and now the creator SpongeBob. Come on, y'all trying to break me or something? And of course, Daredevil season 3. Daredevil's now canceled as well. I swear to God, Disney. I swear to God, it's probably because of the Disney streaming service. Disney's making Netflix cancel all these series so that they can have them all to themselves on their streaming service or something. I don't know. Anyway, so enough talking about that stuff. And of course, if you want my quick thoughts on Starcade, which happened a few last week, that was a little bit of it. Got recorded for show on the network. That was a pretty good show for what it was, as a televised house show. Anyway, so let's get to TG. And also, guys, one last thing. You may be wondering, Glenn, where the hell is the reaction to last week's episode to, Chapter 125 getting adapted? It ain't coming out, because the video gets blocked worldwide because of the audio of it. I can't upload without pretty much the whole video game muted. So, yeah, and when I try to dispute the claim, because it is indeed fair use, they said no, it's not fair use, and then I got a strike for it. So, yeah, that's gonna put a damn on my plans, because I was planning on working on the 12 days of anime with some of my videos, but I think I'll probably still do it. So, yeah, I did upload the part that you all did care about. Also, thank you guys, because that video is on fire. It has almost it has over 300 views last time I checked a few days back. So yeah, thank you guys, because that video was popping. Okay, that video was on fire. Anyway, so I uploaded the part that you all cared about, me losing my shit to Chapter 125 getting adapted. That whole clip is up on my Twitter. I'll leave a link to that tweet down in the description box below. So if you guys want to see that part, check it out there. If you guys would like to see the whole video, DM me on Twitter and I'll try to see what I can do. So, yeah, enough gibberish. Let's get to this week's episode. One last thing. Now, this episode was pretty much, first of all, I gotta say, this episode was fucking amazing. I love this episode. They Paragon did a amazing job. This episode was pretty much all the chapters that I read. This was pretty much the rest of the chapters that I read, Now, I wasn't reading all of them during this whole period. Like, there were times where I kind of stopped because, like, okay, I got my fill. Then I came back because some crazy shit happened. And I'm like, okay. Then I kept reading a little bit more. But pretty much the end of that episode with Kaneki's Kakuja just leveling Tokyo, that's where I was like, okay, I'm out. I'm done. I am satisfied with what I've been given. And I know shit's about to hit the fan. And please, for the love of God, do not kill Kaneki or Toka. Leave them alone. Because, there was little hints there that something might go down with those two, which the anime really hasn't really shown off, other than the fact that, it's TG and tragedy, and God forbid Kaneki has any happiness. But let me first talk about the cut content that got cut, because like I said, I read this episode, I was indeed a manga, so I remember some stuff. So, I mean, there was a little small stuff with when we saw in Kaneki's headquarters that got cut out. Like, there was this one, like, when Skiyama caught wind of Toka being pregnant, he had a list of baby names he was losing his shit over, like, in typical Skiyama fashion. That got cut. But the major thing that got cut was the stuff with Yuriko. Because actually in the manga, Kaneki was having this whole, like, internal debate with himself whether or not, because, like, once, like, I think it was, like, Nishio or Yomo told him about what happened to Yuriko, which I'm pretty sure the anime's not going to touch any of this stuff, so probably not, since, we're pretty much at the tail end of the series at this point. We're pretty much at the end game at this point. That Kaneki was having to whether or not he should go really risk his life to go save Yoriko. Because remember, in the manga, which the anime hasn't put this in there, Kaneki is, weakened because, like I said, his arms were pretty much flesh. They weren't healing properly. His whole squad was, like, running low on food, and they were running low on food. Toka was severely weakened. Not as strong as she usually is, because, like I said, she is consuming human food so that she doesn't end up consuming the baby and has a normal birth with a child. So Kaneki had, like, this internal debate with himself whether or not he should go out there and risk his life to go save Yoriko. He even had, like, this little, like, flashback to Yamari when he was tortured, because you remember the scene in season 1 where Jason told, like, pick one to save, between the boyfriend or the girlfriend. Kaneki couldn't choose, and he ended up killing both of them. He kind of had, like, Yamari's like sadistic laugh going in his head as he was trying to think. If I remember correctly, Kaneki actually did end up going through, which I think that's led directly to this part with the whole stuff right here. If memory serves me correct, because I don't even remember that Mutsuki and the other guys just invading their wedding. I don't remember that part. So unless Para changed to certain events for certain things, or that's actually what happened and my memory is just shit, whatever the case may be, so yeah. I'm not pissed off on any of these cuts, because, like I said, all I really wanted from this was Chapter 125. I got my wish, so I am pleased. But like I said, I would love to see an anime adaptation that properly adapts the story of TG, so that more people get to see why the series is so fucking awesome. And just to see what Ishino was really truly trying to tell with TG. Because, like, even though I say the anime still does a decent job at portraying what she was trying to say, now probably not without going as much detail as he did, I still say that when it comes to those emotional gut punches, Para hits just as hard, if not harder, which we saw in Chapter 125 get adapted than the manga did, because, man, those flashbacks to Season 1 were just... Anyway, enough of me talking about content and all this other stuff, let's actually get to the episode itself. So we start it off. We got it starts with a little like a repeat of like last with Kaneki and Toka getting married. Yorino thought I think they did a pretty decent job with it. Kind of wish they kept the line about cake, but it's not a huge loss. It's more of like a little callback than a major plot point that got cut out. So and then I guess I'm guessing the same. I guess later on. I'm assuming this is the same day because everyone else is still wearing the same clothes. Kaneki and Toka changed into their more normal outfits that we saw them before they went to the whole wedding ghoul outfits, whatever you want to call them. Where Kaneki kind of smelled somewhere. He's then met with Mutsuki and his crew. How Mutsuki found this place, I do not know, because I don't even remember this. I legit do not remember this whole segment. I remember what happened in it, with Kaneki's limbs getting removed and everything. I remember that very clearly, but I don't remember the whole stuff with Mutsuki invading their wedding. So let's pair us switching events, or my memory is just shit. That was pretty because, like, those episodes, I was like, wait, what? Huh? What? Listen, I wasn't reading all the chapters that were getting adapted. Like this whole part, I was like kind of like off and on with the manga about reading certain chapters because I was watching Chibi reviews and like if his thumbnail had something Toka related, I then would read the chapter and watch his video, his reaction chapter to see what he thought. But after like once like huge shit started happening, like like the Scarecrow's name getting revealed, and of course stuff with the Kakuja. That's when I came back and did that. So anyway, so we got my man Uri. He's making his way to Fruita's office, and then he's actually accompanied by Kuraiwa. And he's like, hey man, so what brings you to decide to accompany me? He's like, because you're a good friend. My son would always tell me that, Uri is a good friend and rival. Is a great friend, right? Which I was like, wait, what? Because as we all know, at the first half of the season, when Hayase was in the CCG and everything, we all know Uri didn't like these two because of what happened to his father. So I'm guessing after the death of, I swear I don't know why this dude's name keeps slipping up on me, but I seriously, man, I'm terrible with it. But anyway, after his death, and we know that how his death had a huge impact on Urie. So I'm assuming probably after that, he probably did loosen up on these guys, and then he maybe like opened up to them a little bit more. Hence why he did end up inviting him to his wedding. So that, or other than that, or Uri just kept, or the other, either Uri just kept his mouth shut through this whole time and just said what he wanted to say internally through those amazing little narrations he had in season, which I love those narrations Uri had in season one. Those were always a joy to listen to. And Kuraiwa also tells him that, he every time he looks at him, he reminds me of Mitsuku? Mitsuku, I believe his father's name is. I'm pretty sure it was Mitsuku. He always looked at it. So they walk inside, and I'm assuming at this point Furuta is like running the whole CCG at this point. It's like an interrogation. But man, come on, today's a special day, man. Come on, can't we just like? I mean, yeah, you can decline this, but it's better if you don't, so we can have this on the radio. It's like, oh, so you want to see if I'm reasonable, how reasonable and sane I am? Okay, but what do you need if you want proof, huh? Witnesses, of course. And it's actually those clowns, that little clown girl and boy combo that we saw a few weeks ago. So yeah, if you didn't, this now confirms that Fruita's now in cahoots with the ghouls and he doesn't care. So revealing a singer now. So their face. Uri gets his Kagane out. I guess since Kuraiwa forgot to bring his Queen K with him, his briefcase, he ends up picking up one of those. So you know how sometimes like in like mansions or very old buildings, they usually have like a sword and shield set like on the wall for decorations. Kuraiwa picks one of those, which I'm assuming that thing is made out of Queen K steel. Either that or the dude can hit that thing really fucking hard because it does end up cutting the ghouls. And as we know, the only thing that can cut a ghoul's skin is Queen Cake Steel, unless that was not ever mentioned in the anime, and I'm just remembering this off the manga. But I'm pretty sure that was indeed mentioned in the anime. So they were going at it. The fight itself was great. Art animation was great. The voice acting in the art animation was superb throughout this whole episode. So we then head over back to Kaneki. He like Mutsuki squad and everyone else there is just slaughtering through a couple of these guys. Kaneki tells Toka to take everyone, get them safe, and so Kaneki gets out of his way. So we then see a bunch of the guys just face up against other guys. You got Yomo, Tsukiyama, and Nishiki. They're facing up against Juzu squad. You got Kaneki just going around, and Toka going around. And you got a few others. So we see like Hinami, she's like protecting some of the kids, and then some of the new Queen Squad members come after her. But and one starts getting really close. Toga manages to come out of there from out of nowhere and kicks the dude straight in the face. Where he then then she and Mutsuki start facing off, which Mutsuki, even though Toga's supposed to be very weakened at this point, because like I said, she's been eating nothing but human food so that she can have a natural birth and doesn't end up eating a child, because her body would consider it just food since she's a ghoul. So either A, she's just, even if she's so, either A, Toka, even though Toka's severe with it, she can still tango with Mutsuki and hold her own, or B, Parano's just ignoring that whole fact that she's supposed to be very weakened, very much weakened, because like I said, she's eating nothing but human food, not only for the child, for nourishment, but also make sure she doesn't end up consuming the child, and her body's then confusing it with actual food. So And actually, I like how she actually throughout the fight she like checks on her stomach a couple times, probably checking to see if the baby's all right. Either that, or maybe like her stomach is legit just killing her inside. About her like be like, bro, give me some meat, not burgers, human flesh. Anyway, so fight itself was great like always. We get back to Urie. They're like facing off, and like not Urie. Kawhi ends up losing like his prosthetic hand. I think he got that. I'm assuming he got that during the whole 20th Ward, raid they did. I'm pretty sure because I don't remember anywhere else where he lost his, like I think it was his right hand. So Urie is doing decent stuff, holding his own against the clown girl. She actually like Urie manages to get her on the ground. She's like, no, please don't. And so she does that little trick she did the first time against Hiyoshi. I think the investigator's name was. I could be wrong on that. But and then so when she does it, Urie is behind her, or at least where her head is, and he's like, same tattoo used against Investigator Hiroshi, just like it is in your report. So he comes up to her face and just stabs her right in the face. And Kuraiwa manages to get the other ghoul in a sleeper hold and snaps his neck. Damn, that dude's strong. Even though he's missing a hand, that man can still snap someone's neck, so props to him. But he ends, but like he's like, all right, Fruta, so you're working with ghouls, huh? You're not gonna be able to walk. You're not gonna be able to get out of this one. And he's like, oh, behind you, and then he gets impaled by the clown girl, and he's like, at this point, I legit thought Urie was going to die. I was like, no, Urie, because like I said, Urie is one of my favorite characters in Tokyo Ghoul. I've always loved him, even though I'm sure I'm gonna love him even more when I read the manga, because it's probably get much more fleshed out than he has in the anime. I still say he's got decent character development in the anime, but as much as I love the anime, I will always admit the manga isn't superior just because it has more time to flesh things out with more chapters. As everything has to be kind of like compact and kind of like rushed together in the anime with how many episodes they get. So he gets impaled. She Kurai still tries to defend himself, but she ends up just transforming into like her her second form, I guess, where she has this giant like huge monster on top of that she sits on top of. That's actually a rated triple S ghoul. So then Urie is sent flying to the ground. And oh my god, like I was legit getting concerned that Urie was probably gonna die. And instead, look, we see him, you see his face. He's just laying on the ground. His eyes are rolled to the back of his head. Blood's everywhere. His tongue's sticking out. He's like, what? I was like, no, Urie, please don't die, man. Come on, Ashina, don't do me like this, man. So. But then Kurai was still so he picks up his sword. He's like, all right, come at me, bro. He manages to dodge a couple of her punches, but one of them gets him, and then sends him flying. And Urie starts to get up a little bit. He's like, why are you still here, man? Leave! What are you doing? You won't know if you'll just leave me and run save yourself, damn it! And she's right about to hit Kuraiwa with a third punch, but right in the nick of time, Urie manages to slice her arm off, but then Urie gets punched, and then he ends up getting eaten by her, and, it all looks like Urie has died, and, shit. Kuraiwa's laying down, Kuraiwa's laying on the floor, lifeless. She picks him up, and Furuta, who is legit not even watching the fight. He has like reading like a manga magazine, like Weekly Shonen Jump or something. And even though Furuta is pretty much the main villain of the series, and he has done some ghastly shit, you just can't help but love this guy. Like he is just so entertaining to watch with just some of the shit he does, like like back earlier on when he was like about peace, and there's some other stuff that he's just like, you can't help. Yep, there's some stuff that are dazzling that you try to hate Fruta for doing. You almost still can't help but love the man because of how entertaining he is, and both his Japanese and English voices have done a great job with that. And this is coming from an anime, I always pretend because like I don't remember much of him in the manga. At least I did without this other context about Fruta, so. Yeah, I still think he's entertaining as hell. Like, if you ask me who was my favorite TG villain, I would say Fruta. This is because he's just so entertaining to watch. Anyway, so he's like, okay, you guys can finish him off. And right then, Urie cuts a hole right inside of her. Blood starts spraying. He gets out, and I love that close-up on his face. It was amazing. man. We then get back to Kaneki and crew. Kaneki ends up getting meeting up with Juzu, and he's like, yeah, man, you mind moving? You're in my way. Heise. He refers to him as Heise instead of just calling him Kaneki. And he says, by the way, dude, just for the record, I'm just here to kill you. So I'm guessing he's probably just gonna leave everyone else alone. And just like you let him go, he's only there just to kill off and hunt down Heise. Anyway, so then we get back to Toka and Mutsuki. Toka's still holding a decent job holding her own against Mutsuki. She like occasionally checks her stomach again, gets checking on her baby. But then Mutsuki manages to like land 2 knives into her sword to kind of like pin her against like this like rock that pretty much just works like a wall essentially. So she can't move. We see the new Queen Squad that Fruches at. The Kaneki was facing them off, and like right before they actually like their hair, they actually activate their Kaganes again, and we see that their hair goes from like a black to pretty much just like pure white, like Kaneki's did back in season 1. So, and since they have and probably because of the that they probably have a similar healing factor to Kaneki, as well as they have the same Kagane. So, yeah. And then we also see Tsukiyama, Yomo, and Nishiki. They're facing off against, like I said before, Juzu Squad, and all of them, and like they managed to win the fight. So they're all, and like all of Juzu's like squad is like just laying on the ground, and then like Tsukiyama, they don't fish him off. They just let him go. And one of them is like, hey man, aren't you gonna fish this off? And he says, and Tsukiyama tells him, it's because of our king's ideals, which Kaneki, as we know, he is trying to connect to trying to take what Yoshimura was doing, was to create a world where ghouls and humans can live peacefully together. So of course letting these guys live is probably a part of that plan. So if you just and because you just kill them all, it's not really going to help you that much. So we then we head over back to we also see what's his name, the dude with the black hair that was always close to Arima. He asked the other guy that Arima trusts, like, hey man, why did Arima pick you over me? And he says that Arima trusted him, that he would always make the right decision. Whatever the hell that means, I do not know. We then get back to Uta, or Urie. He makes his way out of that, out of her partner's corpse, whatever their partner, whatever you want to call it. Makes it to the court. Then the clown girl and him start teaming up against Urie, and then we see our boy Urie has gotten a bit of an upgrade to his Kagane, where now it literally can transform into a shield. Which at first, when I first saw it, I thought that Psycho just showed up and it started use her Kagane because we know her Kagane is pretty versatile. I mean, it can go from being like a Star Platinum ripoff to being like a huge mallet that would make Harley Quinn blush. Like, it's very versatile. Now our boy Urie is starting to get there too. So he starts charging in there, and then the shit retracts a blade, goes right through them. He ends up decapitating the girl. She sends the other dude flying through the window, falling to his possible death. Although if he came back from getting his neck snapped, then this fall probably wouldn't kill him. But the other girl gets decapitated, and she's like, goodbye, with this huge smile on her face. He just stabs right in the middle of her head and slashes her in half, and cuts her in half. We get to Kuraiwa, which, this moment, wow. I actually remember reading this in the manga. I vaguely remember the scene. Now, when I was watching the manga, I had no idea what the hell was going on. I didn't know who Urie was at the time. I knew of Kuraiwa just because, he was in the season 1 and season 2, but I really didn't get to this. It didn't show off the scene like it did here, so I'm assuming that was probably in a previous chapter that I did not read. But I remember when this was actually the same chapter where the Scarecrow got revealed. So this was that chapter. So maybe this was in the last chapter before that, because as soon as I found out who the Scarecrow was, I immediately went and read this chapter and watched Chibi's react to the chapter as well, just to help me get some extra content to see what he thought of it. And he was like, "Damn, man, damn! I was really hoping he would live." He wasn't. So yeah, and I was like, "Huh? What? Who? Whatever. I don't care. I need to know who the hell. I need to see the Scarecrow thing." Anyway, so he's like, "I'm sorry, Urie. I couldn't protect Mikito." It's like, don't. It's not your fault. It's nobody's fault. And I love how TG has always done flashbacks on Ri. It's kind of like with like a bit of a film grain s to it. Like, and I especially loved it when in the first season they did like the whole thing where they revealed that Kanahi's mom actually used to beat him. And I love how like it looked very shaky and like staticky, like you proving that that Kaneki can't trust his own memories. I love that little subtlety Parrot did there, and I talked about that in my review of that episode back in season 1 of Ri. And so it says like that he blamed himself actually for his father that he couldn't do anything. But since he was such a little kid, it was too much for him to take in. He was overwhelmed by it, so he had to blame somebody, or else he couldn't take it. So of course he ended up blaming Koraiwa for his father's death, and then from there he became essentially Max Payne before he kind of came back around. And so he's like, no, don't, it's not your fault. And then like with his like missing arm or arm, he says, you look just like Mikito. And then Uri, then our boy Fruta, stabs a sword right through the man's throat, pulls the blade. I was like, oh, well, I'd say this blade can actually cut really well. Like, Fruta, I love this man. This dude is so entertaining watching. And then our boy Uri yells, Fruta! He's like, dude, why are you're so loud, Where then he is shot right between the eyes, like, huh? And falls down. It is our boy, the man, the myth, the legend, Maru. He fired the shot, came over to Korai once, I was like, yeah, man, I'm here. I'm never leaving your side, where he then dies, which sucked. He was pretty cool. Yeah, he was pretty good for when we saw, but my man Uda can't catch a break. He's lost 2 people in the series. So, like, first there was what's his name from the? I feel so bad that I can't remember the dude's name in season 1, and now he's lost this guy. Just when he like starts like I swear, our boy Udia can't catch a break. Shit, can you calm? Can you chill a little bit for our boy Udia? Come on, man. Anyway, so and he's like, hey man, can you tell me what the hell's going on? And it's like, certainly, I'd like to meet you. And then the Scarecrow appears, which we have seen, making his appearances here and there throughout the anime. He has this notepad, and it says, I'm Hideyoshi Nachiska. Please help me, Urie. Yes, your eyes are not deceiving you. The Scarecrow is indeed Hide. And I was shocked when I first saw this because, okay, so let me tell you the backstory of how I read this, got to this chapter. So I was, on YouTube, just scrolling through. I think so Chibi said, had this video about, how Hide is one of the best supporting characters. So I watched because, I agree with him. Hide is a real one. I love Hide. And so he was going to this it was pretty much essentially like an AMV, but it was predominantly manga panels of Hide. But the final shot was of the Scarecrow holding that notepad saying he's Hideyoshi Nachiska. And I was like, what the fuck? And so I immediately went to read the chapter, and I was like, oh my god, Hide's back! Now, some of you may be wondering, why does his voice sound so... almost sound like Kayoko from the Grudge movies, or is it Sadako? I think it's Kayoko that was in the Grudge. Why is his voice sound like that? Well, I kind of know the reason for it because Chibi actually said this in one of his reactions, but I'm not sure if that was the actual reason because it was not shown off in the actual manga itself, at least from the part 1 manga. Maybe it was mentioned in a in like a flashback or something, but I will not tell you guys the reasoning until because I'm sure the anime will probably tell us next week. Because it looks like he is going to have a decent focus in that week's episode, judging from the next episode preview. So they'll most likely tell us why Hide's voice sounds the way it does. So raspy and like he's being strangled or something. So I'll tell you then, unless the anime tells us why his voice sounds like that. Because even I'm not completely 100% on the reasoning for that. But we then get back to Kaneki. He's fighting against Juzu, and then he notices Toka and sees that she's pinned against that wall by Muski's knives. And so he makes his way over there. After a few cuts, he's battered after fighting Juzu. He makes his way over there, and all the the new Queen Squad members are like, Kaneki Ken, Kaneki Ken, Kaneki Ken, Kaneki Ken, Kaneki Ken, Kaneki Ken. And then they're like, the director's orders, kill, 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 kill. And they all start dismembering him, limb from limb, cutting him to shreds. Mutsuki's like, hey, what are you doing? And Togo's just sitting there, watching there, and like, Kaneki. And now, they don't show this scene, which I can understand, censorship and everything, but I mean, I feel like after what Attack on Titan got away with Ross Titanform, I feel like TG could have gotten away with this, but in the manga, in this chapter, you don't really see, you kind of see a little bit later, but there's a shot of Kaneki where you just see him with all his limbs just cut off, and he's just sitting there, and I believe it was Mutsuki, the chapter saying how he looks like a little nugget. Now this became a massive meme within the community when this first happened to manga, but then we've learned it was actually a mistranslation. I forget what the translation or what it actually said, but I remember everyone was talking about making nugget memes about how Kaneki looked like because he was missing all his limbs. And so he's like, he's like Toka, 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 and we see the centipede crawling its way into the frame. And I like that they put this in there because a similar scene happened back in season 1 when actually, now you guys remember in the anime when Yamori kidnapped Kaneki and took him to his little lair and tortured him to death, right? Or tortured him to near death. Well, in the manga, he actually gave himself up as a way to so that Bond and the other guys could escape clean. And right as he left, a centipede, the final panel of that chapter was of a centipede. I like that little callback. Granted, most anime always probably wouldn't catch that unless they read the manga. But I noticed it. I was like, thank you, Perry, for putting that in there. So then, we're inside Kaneki's head, where we see all of his personalities. At least the main ones, black-haired pussy Kaneki, white-haired badass Kaneki, Heizei, Edgelord, bloodstained Kaneki, and there's this one white-haired Kaneki with his eyes covered. I believe it's supposed to be I believe that's supposed to reference the centipede Kaneki when he unlocked his Kakuja, if I remember correctly, if my memory serves me right. Now I remember unfortunately, this part was really cut from how it was in the manga, because in the manga they were arguing, there was this whole scene where you saw white-haired Kaneki arguing with bloodstained Kaneki. I remember Chibi was losing his mind, about how the fans and we see Kaneki's two edgelord personalities just going at it. So if I probably went back and reread that chapter, I'd probably get a huge kick out of it. Now knowing the content, watching the anime and everything, but it was significantly cut from how it was in the manga, which, it still gets a point across, but I would have liked to at least seen some of the conversations between Kaneki's different personalities collide, but time constraints, so anyway, they're all just kind of looking down on the current personality Kaneki, the one that's accepting it and everything, the current white-haired Kaneki we've been seeing for a majority of this season. He says, so we got the main. This is gonna be a little bit difficult for me to say because there's so many Kaneki. So the main Kaneki we have been knowing for the majority of the series, he's on the ground. He says, I can't do it. I can't win. He's pretty much giving up at this point. And then so you got the little white-haired kid Kaneki. I just don't know what the hell this kid's problem is, because actually in the manga too, there was another personality there that looked like just him, but instead of white hair was black hair. I don't know what the hell that was about. I think that might have been just referring to Kaneki when he was an actual kid, I think. Since Kid Kaneki had a little bit the end of the manga, so I think that's what. So anyway, he says, but hey, man, your head's still attached. So then we got black hair pussy Kaneki saying, can you bite? Can you breathe? And he's like, yeah. And so then you got Centipede Kaneki, who I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be Centipede Kaneki, or for all I know, could be Prisoner 1256. Don't ask me who that is, because even I don't know who that was. Because when I saw that part of the mom, I'm like, who the hell are you? What are you? Because I don't know. Like I said, I did not read all the manga when I was reading that chapter, so a lot of times when I saw some of these personages, I did not know what the hell I was looking at. And so he says, like, can you bite? Do you have enough strength to bite? He says, yes. Do you have enough? Can you crawl? Hi, is he asking, can you crawl? Yes. Then you got the Black Reaper, Bloodstained Kaneki. Then you already know what I would have done. Ending it on the OG, white hair, badass Kaneki. Then keep moving. Just like a centipede. And then they all start chanting, Toka, 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 Toka. Now, in the manga, I like how she did this. Because, like, in the manga, they were all pretty much just arguing amongst themselves on what really to do. I guess Kaneki's mind was just going crazy at this point. And so around when they still weren't being able to agree on really anything, we see this new personality that the way I can't really describe the way how she draw it. It was very scratchy looking, I guess you could say. And he said, Toka. I need to. He said I need to say Toka or Toka. It was something. It's something to do with Toka. My memory isn't really the best for you. And that's when they all started to agree, like, Toka, 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 Toka. And that's when they all started chanting Toka, Toka, Toka. And so then Kaneki rises. He bites on one of the faces of the Queen Squad members, and he just starts chanting Toka, 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 as he's just slaughtering the other guys with his Kagane as they're going through it. He's just chanting Toka, 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 Toka. Muski's like, why are you chanting this woman's name? Chant my name too! And he's like, Toka, 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 as he's just leveling these guys left and right. Where then his new Kakuja, I'm assuming it's a Kakuja, judging from the size of it, just merges and just starts leveling Tokyo. And in the manga, now I'd say Parrot did a decent job adapting this. Just with there was no dialogue, just an amazing orchestral that opera sounding score, just playing in the background as Taneki's new Kakuja just leveling buildings in Tokyo. Now in the manga, it had this was a final chapter before I had stopped. I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm satisfied with what I've read. I know it's about to go down because I was still holding out hope that season 3 would eventually get made, which it ended up getting. So my patience was it was good of me to wait. And it had this chapter where we saw where it was just Kaneki's new Kakuja just leveling Tokyo. It was very found footage. It was drawn in a way that made it look like found footage. Now, Parrot didn't really do which Parrot I think did a decent job of it. I felt they could have done it because they went into buildings. You see just people living out their lives before the Kakuja just goes out crazy. Which I kind of wish Parrot went that way, but the way they ended up going, I'd say still did a pretty decent job in God Metro. I still wish they had that final page where it was just the head of it, and it looks so badass in the manga. I kind of wish they put that in there, but they kind of had the head thing in the end of it. So yeah, and so then Fruits had awakened, so I guess he didn't die. He's like, aha! I win! I hope you eat every part of me, Kaneki! Dragon! And that's where the episode ends. Holy shit, this episode was fucking amazing. Now, this reveal also got really long because, the intro took a while, me saying also. Since this was the last few chapters I did read in the manga, and since there was a lot more for me to sink my teeth into and make comparisons to the manga, so yeah, this episode was amazing. Overall, from the chapters we got, minus a couple stuff that were kind of cut, overall Parrot did an amazing job with the overall adaptation work. Sure, some stuff was cut I would have liked to have seen, but hey, what can you do? I still think this episode is still fucking amazing. So, of course, this episode gets a 10 out of 10. Seriously, this whole season began nothing but 10s. Say what you will about Parrot's adaptation, but I fucking I'm loving this series. And so, yeah. Sorry, next week I'm back to being an anime only and not knowing what the hell is going on. So that should be interesting. I do know that the ending, felt that most people were not pleased with the ending because Shia got burned out from the series, which, I mean, it's more revealing here that it was just burned out rather than he was pissing blood or had a torn ligament in his right hand that he didn't know about till he got an x-ray like Kubo did, which So I'll take burnt out over. Yeah, I could have died or something. So yeah, this video looks interesting. Can't wait to see what they have to offer. So hope y'all enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you did. Subscribe if you're new. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter if you feel like it. Links down in the description box below. And as always, come back for more. See you guys next time.